Right, so let's look at our last question in let's look at the last question in this section B. B9 says figure B9.1 shows the graph of the count rate in counts per minute against time in minutes. So this is the exponential graph that they have given you. Then the question says define half-life. So there are so many definitions, but what you need to remember that half-life is simply the time taken for half of the number of unstable nuclei in a sample to decay. So we can simply say half-life is the time taken, that's the keyword there, the time taken for half the number of unstable nuclei in a sample to decay. So just the time taken for half the number of unstable nuclei in a sample to decay, that is what we simply call as being the half-life there. So you don't need to struggle. It is something that is actually very clear, as you are able to see. Let's move on to the B part there. So if the B part says use the graph to determine the half-life of the radioactive sample. So you don't have to worry much about such a question. You just look at the initial, where did you start from? We started at 12, so we started with 12 counts per minute. So what is half of 12 counts per minute? It is actually 6. So go to 6 and look at what is the time. So in this case, you go there and look at the time where it is cutting the graph at 6, because it's the time taken to reduce to half. So when you reduce to half 6, what's the time? So if I look at this one, it is simply 2 minutes. So from the graph, that is actually 2 minutes. So they wanted you to use your graph to determine that. So what you do, you can use a rule in order to determine that. So from there, you just need to draw a line like the way I've actually drawn it. Where it is meeting the curve, you drop it down to the x-axis, and that will give you your half-life. So this here is actually representing our half-life, which is 2 minutes. Then it's the last one there. C says give 2 effects of radioactive substance on the environment. So what effect does it have on the environment? So probably there are so many effects you can talk about. One, we can talk about maybe radiation pollution. Usually on the environment, radiation causes pollution, in the sense that it is capable